Listen carefully. Most men are living in chains they can't even see. They wake up, repeat the same habits, chase illusions sold by others, and call it a life. But weakness has a smell, and the world feeds on the weak. You are here because something inside you refuses to rot in mediocrity. You are here because deep down you know the truth. Strength is not given, it is carved. Power is not inherited, it is taken. Respect is not requested, it is commanded. This is your awakening. The start of a reconstruction, not of your appearance, not of your possessions, but of your mindset. Because once your mind is unshakable, your presence alone bends reality. When you master yourself, no insult can pierce you, no betrayal can break you, and no obstacle can stop you. The masses will continue to sleep, but not you. You will cut through illusions. You will choose control. You will rebuild yourself with ruthless precision. Now, declare it. Go to the comments and write, "I refuse to be ordinary." Etch those words into stone. Say them as if the world is listening. Part 2. The Law of Cold Focus. Power is not built in noise. It is built in silence. While others scatter their energy chasing distractions, scrolling, gossiping, begging for validation, you must direct yours like a blade. Machiavelli taught that a leader must appear many things, but in truth, he must be ruthless in clarity. This is the essence of cold focus. Your attention is the most valuable resource you have, and every thief in the world is trying to steal it. Advertisements, weak men, useless conversations, emotional traps. Each one is designed to bleed you dry, so you must become merciless. Cut without hesitation. Remove what does not serve your rise. Detach from drama. Detach from people who do not multiply your strength. Detach from anything that keeps you drowning in mediocrity. The weak think focus means motivation. They're wrong. Focus is war. Focus is sacrifice. It is the art of saying no 100 times so you can say yes once to the thing that truly matters. Cold focus means you become untouchable. You are no longer moved by shiny distractions or emotional traps. You walk like a man with purpose, and others will feel it before you even speak. Now, burn it into your mind. Go to the comments and write, "My focus is my fortress." Repeat it, seal it, protect it. Because in this fortress, nothing enters unless you allow it, and that makes you dangerous. Part 3. Power in perception. Understand this. Power is not only about what you are, it is about what others believe you are. Machiavelli knew this better than anyone. The perception of strength is often more important than strength itself. The average man lives exposed. He speaks his every thought. He shows his every weakness. He craves sympathy like a starving dog. But you must master the opposite. You reveal nothing. You project control, even when the storm inside is violent. You choose your words with the precision of a dagger. You walk into a room, and your silence says more than their noise ever could. Perception is a weapon. If people see you as weak, they will test you, mock you, and try to use you. If they see you as cold, disciplined, unshakable, they will hesitate. And hesitation is power. You must not simply rebuild yourself. You must rebuild the image the world sees. This does not mean faking. It means designing. You engineer your appearance, your posture, your energy. Every move you make should whisper, "This man is not ordinary." Every word you release should feel heavy, like iron dropped into still water. The cruel truth is this: people don't respect who you are. They respect what they think you are. So give them an image they cannot touch. Mask your scars. Hide your doubts. Let them see only the man who walks untouched by chaos. This is cold power. This is the Machiavellian art of perception. Control what they see, and you control how they treat you. Now go to the comments and declare, I control what they see. Write it like you are etching a weapon, because your perception is your armor, and without armor, you will bleed. Part 4. Mastery of emotion. Weak men drown in emotion. They let anger burn them, love blind them, fear chain them, and envy rot them. But power begins the moment you learn this. Emotion is fuel, not a master. Machiavelli understood that the ruler who cannot control himself will never control others. And this law applies to you. If your emotions are exposed, you are predictable. If you are predictable, you are vulnerable. And if you are vulnerable, you are finished. Think about it. How many times have you seen men destroy themselves because they couldn't control their impulses? A moment of rage, a desperate attachment, a reckless decision. This is how kings lose kingdoms. This is how warriors lose battles. This is how ordinary men remain ordinary. You must rise above that. You must become unshakable. When others insult you, you remain calm. When betrayal strikes, you analyze before you act. When temptation calls, you smile and turn away. Because you are not ruled by emotion. You rule over emotion. This doesn't mean you feel nothing. It means you channel everything. Anger becomes fuel for discipline. Fear becomes preparation. Pain becomes wisdom. Every feeling is converted into strength, and none of it leaks out where enemies can see. Understand this. Men who can't master their emotions become slaves to women, to money, to failure, to anyone who pushes their buttons. But the man who can smile in chaos, he terrifies everyone because nobody knows what moves him. Nobody knows where to strike. That man is untouchable, and that man you must become. So go now to the comments and write, I rule over emotion. Etch it with certainty. Etch it like iron. Because once you master this, you will no longer react to the world. The world will react to you. Remember, cold power is not built on muscles, wealth, or charm. It is built on discipline, perception, and emotional mastery. The man who owns his emotions owns his fate, and soon the world will see you not as another man, but as a fortress of iron will. Part 5. Strategic ruthlessness. Listen carefully. The world is not fair. It does not reward kindness for its own sake. It rewards leverage. It rewards precision. It rewards those willing to do what others cannot stomach. Machiavelli wrote that it is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. Why? Because fear commands respect. Love can vanish. Fear endures. Now, understand, I am not telling you to be cruel without purpose. That is foolishness. Cruelty without reason destroys the one who wields it. But ruthlessness with strategy, that builds empires. Strategic ruthlessness means this. You cut away weakness in yourself and in others. You do not tolerate excuses. You do not surround yourself with parasites, doubters, or thieves of energy. You eliminate them from your circle, cleanly, decisively, without apology. It also means you know when to strike. Not out of anger, not out of impulse, but out of calculation. If someone stands in the way of your rise, you remove them, not always with violence, but with positioning. You outmaneuver them. You outthink them. You make their power irrelevant while you sharpen yours. Weak men believe ruthlessness is loud. They brag. They bark. They show their teeth too soon. But you are silent, patient, precise. When you strike, it is final. When you decide, it is irreversible. That is the difference between a brute and a strategist. Ask yourself, who rules, the man who hesitates or the man who executes? The world bows to the one who moves without fear of opinion, without apology for strength, without hesitation when the moment arrives. But remember this, true ruthlessness is not in how you treat others. It begins with how you treat yourself. Discipline is ruthless. Sacrifice is ruthless. Cutting off your own laziness, your own weakness, your own comfort, That is the first execution. If you cannot destroy the softness in yourself, you will never destroy the obstacles outside yourself. This is the Machiavellian truth. Mercy for others must come second. Mercy for yourself must come last. The mission comes first, always. Now, go to the comments and write, "I move with ruthless precision." Write it so others see it. Write it so it burns into your own mind. Because in the end, only the ruthless rise above the noise. Only the ruthless carve their name into history. And only the ruthless rebuild themselves into men untouchable by time, betrayal, or fate. This is not cruelty. This is survival. This is strategy. And this is power. Part 6. The art of patience and timing. Power is never rushed. Only weak men rush. They lunge, they chase, they beg, because they cannot wait. But the man of patience, he becomes inevitable. Machiavelli understood that fortune favors the one who knows when to strike. Not too early, not too late, at the precise moment when his enemy has no defense left. Timing is everything. Look around you. The weak are impulsive. They need instant reward, instant pleasure, instant gratification. They eat it all today and starve tomorrow. They chase every opportunity and catch none. They speak before thinking, act before planning, and lose before fighting. But not you. You are being rebuilt into something else entirely. Your patience will be a weapon. Your silence will be a signal. Your restraint will terrify them more than your aggression ever could. Understand this. True predators don't sprint after every movement in the grass. They wait, they watch. They let the prey tire itself, expose itself, dig its own grave. Then, one strike. Final. Irreversible. This is how you must live. When opportunity comes, you do not grab at it blindly. You prepare, you calculate. And when the time is perfect, you move with absolute force. This is not hesitation. This is discipline. A blade held back is sharper when released. Patience also protects you from traps. Enemies will try to provoke you into rash action. They will insult you, tempt you, push your buttons to make you reveal yourself. You must not bite. You must smile, wait, and let them think you are unmoved. Because the moment you react, you are no longer in control. But the moment you wait, you own the board. Machiavelli himself warned that men ruin themselves by impatience. A ruler who reveals his plans too soon invites betrayal. A man who shows his hand too early loses the game. So you must reveal nothing until it is too late for them to resist. Think of your life like a chessboard. Every move must serve a greater plan. Every sacrifice must weaken your opponent and strengthen your future. And sometimes, the most powerful move is to wait, to let them underestimate you, to let them believe you are still, until you choose to strike and they realize too late, you are always 3 steps ahead. Patience is not weakness. Patience is the highest form of control. It is saying to the world, I do not move when you command. I move only when I decide. That is power. That is freedom. So engrave this truth into yourself. Timing decides empires. The difference between failure and greatness is not effort, it is patience. Do not waste your energy chasing what is not yet ready. Do not waste your strength proving yourself to fools. Hold your fire, build your arsenal, and when the moment arrives, you will end the battle before it begins. Now, go to the comments and write, "My patience is my weapon." Seal it with your words, because a man who waits without weakness is a man no one can defeat. Part 7. The Power of Detachment. Attachment is the chain that enslaves men. It binds them to people who betray them. It ties them to dreams that no longer serve them. It shackles them to emotions that drain their strength. Weak men live attached. They cling to approval. They cling to comfort. They cling to love, to validation, to possessions, to routines that kill them slowly. And when life rips these things away, as it always does, they collapse. Their weakness is revealed. Their dependence is punished. But not you. You are rebuilding yourself into something different. You will become untouchable, and untouchable men cannot be chained. Machiavelli wrote that men should be handled either with care or crushed completely, because if you leave them wounded, they will come back for vengeance. Apply this to yourself. If you allow attachments to weaken you, they will come back to destroy you. But if you crush them at the root, you are free. Detachment is not emptiness, it is strength. It is saying, I can walk away from anyone, anything, any situation, and still remain whole. It means no relationship owns you, no failure defines you, no possession enslaves you. This is where cold psychology meets true power. If someone can control your emotions, they own you. If they can take something from you and leave you broken, you were never strong, you were dependent. But when you are detached, you become a fortress. They cannot blackmail you with love. They cannot trap you with fear. They cannot shatter you with loss, because you need nothing from them. Imagine two men. One lives for approval. He bends, he begs, he fears abandonment. The other, detached. He chooses to give, but he does not need to. He chooses to stay, but he can leave in an instant. Which one holds the power? Always the detached man. Detachment is also clarity. When you are attached, your judgment is clouded. You overlook red flags, you tolerate disrespect, you justify weakness. But when you detach, you see truth. You see people as they are, not as you want them to be. You see situations without illusion. You cut faster, you move cleaner, you decide sharper. This does not mean isolation, it means control. You can love, but not need. You can fight, but not obsess. You can win, but not become arrogant. You remain balanced, centered, unshaken. Understand this. The world loses its grip on the man who detaches. They cannot manipulate him. They cannot tempt him. They cannot destroy him. Because what can you take from a man who has already let go? Nothing. Detachment is the highest level of freedom. And freedom is the highest form of power. Now write this in the comments. Nothing owns me. Write it as your declaration. Write it as your shield. Because the moment you truly live detached, you are no longer in chains. Men who cannot detach are slaves forever. But the man who masters detachment, he becomes cold, unmovable, untouchable. He becomes a force, and that man, that fortress of control, that is the man you are becoming. Part 8. The command of silence. Most men speak too much. They reveal their plans, their fears, their secrets, all in exchange for a few seconds of attention. And in their words, they give away their power. But silence is a weapon. Silence creates mystery. Silence makes people wonder, calculate, and fear what you might be thinking. And fear of the unknown is stronger than fear of the obvious. Machiavelli wrote that rulers must never reveal the full truth of their intentions. Why? Because once your enemy knows your plan, they can prepare against you. But if they do not know, they can only guess, and a guessing enemy is a weak enemy. Weak men are addicted to talking. They talk to prove themselves. They talk to impress women. They talk to justify failures. But strong men, they do not explain. They do not justify. They do not overshare. They move in silence and let their results echo louder than any words. Silence also makes your presence heavier. When you speak rarely, every word carries weight. When you enter a room and observe instead of filling it with noise, people begin to feel your control. They look at you, waiting, curious, unsettled, because silence makes them uncomfortable, and discomfort is power. Even in conflict, silence is deadly. When someone insults you, silence is more powerful than an outburst. When they expect you to defend yourself, silence makes them question if they even touched you. Silence flips the pressure back onto them. It tells the world, I am unmoved. But silence is not just about words, it's about restraint. It's about knowing when not to react, when not to chase, when not to reveal. It is about letting others expose themselves while you remain untouchable. They speak their weakness. You remain unreadable. They bleed information. You collect it. They chase validation. You hold power. This is why silence terrifies people. They cannot measure you. They cannot control you. And men who cannot be measured are dangerous. Use silence in strategy, say less in negotiation, reveal less in friendship, expose less in romance, because the less they know, the more they imagine. And their imagination will always be darker, stronger, and more intimidating than anything you could say aloud. Remember this: kings do not explain themselves. Commanders do not beg to be understood. Predators do not announce the hunt. They move quietly, strike decisively, and leave no room for doubt. So here is your task. From this day forward, stop giving the world your every thought. Speak with intention. Cut the useless noise. Replace words with action. Replace explanation with execution. Replace validation with silence. And when you do speak, make it sharp. Make it final. Make it undeniable. Now, go to the comments and declare, "My silence is my power." Write it like an oath. Because when your silence becomes louder than their noise, you will no longer be one of them. You will rise above them. Understand this. The weak man fears silence because it reveals his emptiness. But the strong man wields silence like a blade, cutting deeper than words ever could. And that man, the man of silence, of mystery, of cold presence, that is who you are becoming. Part 9. The weight of legacy. Most men live like dust scattered in the wind. They rise, they drift, and then they are forgotten. Their names vanish, their deeds dissolve. Their existence leaves no mark behind. They may laugh, cry, struggle, and even achieve small victories, but history does not remember them. They fade into silence, as if they never existed at all. Why does this happen? Because they live without design. They live small. They live distracted. They chase comfort instead of purpose, pleasure instead of greatness, survival instead of dominance. They spend their years building nothing that lasts, and when their time ends, the world quietly closes over their graves as if nothing had been there. But you, if you are still listening, you are not here to be dust. You are here to become stone. You are here to carve yourself into history. You are here to forge a legacy. 1. What legacy truly is. Do not mistake legacy for wealth alone. Do not mistake it for fame, applause, or the shallow validation of strangers. Legacy is deeper. Legacy is the imprint of power that remains long after you are gone. It is the stories people tell when you are not present. It is the way your enemies still whisper your name, even with hatred, because they cannot erase you. It is the impact you leave on reality itself, the mark that says, "I was here, and nothing was the same after me." Legacy is not built by accident. Legacy is engineered, and every choice you make either adds weight to it or weakens it. 2. The Machiavellian truth of legacy. Machiavelli knew the fragility of human memory. He wrote that rulers must construct systems, reputations, and foundations that survive beyond their lifetime. Why? Because power that dies with you is not power at all. It was only borrowed. True power endures. It continues to shape the world when your bones have turned to dust. Think of it. The names you know from history: Caesar, Alexander, Napoleon, Marcus Aurelius. They are long dead, but their choices still echo through centuries. You may not agree with them, you may love or hate them, but you cannot ignore them. That is legacy. And here is the Machiavellian truth. People will not remember you for being kind, for being soft, for being comfortable. They will remember you only if you change the world around you, if you dominate your space so completely that your existence becomes undeniable. 3. The weak man's fate. Weak men live and die in silence. They think legacy means leaving behind a family photo, a quiet house, or a story told once at a funeral. But within a generation, they are gone. No one speaks their name. No one studies their life. No one fears them. No one admires them. No one remembers them. They lived for themselves alone, and because of that, the world discards them without hesitation. That is the fate of the ordinary man. That is the fate you must reject. Fourth building for eternity. Legacy is built through discipline. Every hour you sharpen yourself, you are laying bricks in a fortress that will stand when you are gone. Every sacrifice you make, every distraction you kill, every enemy you silence, it all builds something larger than you. But legacy also demands sacrifice. You cannot have both comfort and eternity. You cannot have both laziness and greatness. You cannot serve two masters, pleasure and purpose. So choose the discomfort that builds. Choose the sacrifice that endures. Choose the pain that echoes as power. Because comfort dies with you, but legacy outlives you. 5. Legacy through impact. Think of it this way. Every man leaves behind either a warning or a weapon. The weak leave behind a warning, proof of what happens when you waste your life. The strong leave behind a weapon, a lesson, an example, a path that others can use to sharpen themselves. Your legacy must be this. When men speak your name, it must strike them like steel. They must think of discipline. They must think of strength. They must think of power that could not be broken. Your name must become a symbol, not a memory. Symbols last longer than men. 6. The immortality of memory. Most people die twice. Once when their body fails, and once when their name is spoken for the last time. The first death is inevitable. The second death is optional. If you live like the masses, you will suffer both deaths. But if you live with purpose, if you forge your legacy in iron, you will never die the second death. Because your name will outlast your body. Your story will outlast your bones. Your strength will ripple through time like a shadow that refuses to fade. That is how men achieve immortality. Not by escaping death, but by becoming unforgettable. 7. The call to build. So ask yourself, what will your name mean when you are gone? Will it mean nothing? Will it be spoken once at a funeral, then never again? Or will it carry weight? Will it make men straighten their spines? Will it make women whisper? Will it inspire fear, respect, or awe? This is your choice. This is your burden. This is your responsibility. Every decision you make from this day forward must serve something greater than you. Every sacrifice must strengthen the fortress of your legacy. Every victory must not only feed your ego, it must feed your eternity. Legacy is not an accident, it is engineered. And the time to begin is now. 8. Your declaration. Go to the comments right now and write, "My name will echo." Write it like prophecy. Write it like you are carving into stone. Write it so when others see it, they feel a chill in their chest. Because if you declare it, you must live it. You must make choices that prove it true. You must burn weakness, kill distraction, and rise above the ordinary. My name will echo. Say it until it feels real. Because one day it will be. Legacy is not about being remembered by many. It is about being remembered deeply, fiercely, unshakably. And if you live with this truth in your mind, you will never die a second death. Your enemies will still speak your name. Your allies will still carry your memory. The world itself will carry your shadow. And that is what it means to carry the weight of legacy. Part 10. The final transformation. This is the end of the beginning. And if you've made it this far, you are no longer the same man who pressed play on this video. Something in you has shifted. Something in you has woken up. This entire journey, rebuilding yourself, sharpening your focus, mastering perception, controlling emotion, moving with ruthless precision, cultivating patience, detachment, silence, and legacy, was never about becoming ordinary. It was about becoming untouchable. And now, the final transformation begins. 1. Death of the old self. First, you must kill the man you used to be. The weak one, the one who begged for attention, the one who drowned in emotions, the one who clung to people who never respected him, the one who wasted his time, his focus, his energy on meaningless distractions. That man must die, because as long as he lives, you will always be split. Half powerful, half weak. And a divided man cannot rule himself, let alone the world. Machiavelli wrote that in order to build new power, old structures must be destroyed completely. You cannot build a fortress on rotten foundations. So burn the weakness, bury the excuses, erase the habits that kept you ordinary. Say it in the comments, the weak me is dead. This is your first step into becoming untouchable. Second, rise of the fortress mind. Now, the reconstruction begins. Piece by piece, stone by stone, you build yourself into something indestructible. Your focus is your fortress. No distraction can penetrate it. No temptation can lure you out of it. Inside this fortress, your discipline grows, your mind sharpens, your will hardens. The world outside will always try to invade, through people, through noise, through manipulation. But your walls must remain unbroken. Your silence, your patience, your detachment, they form the armor that shields you. And inside your strategy, your vision, your purpose, they form the weapons that strike when the time is right. You are no longer living day by day. You are constructing, you are engineering, you are forging. And when this fortress is complete, nothing, no betrayal, no rejection, no chaos will touch you. 3. Becoming the predator, not the prey. The weak are prey. They react, they chase, they beg, but you are no longer prey. You are predator. The predator does not explain itself to the prey. The predator does not beg for acceptance. The predator does not rush, does not panic, does not reveal its hunger. It watches. It waits. And when it moves, it ends everything in a single strike. This is how you must think. This is how you must live. You do not show desperation. You do not reveal need. You do not lower yourself to compete for scraps. You sit above. You watch. You select carefully. And when you act, it is final. That is predator psychology. That is cold power. 4. Owning your fate. Most men let fate rule them. They complain about luck, about destiny, about circumstance, but fate belongs only to those strong enough to seize it. You cannot wait for luck. You cannot wait for opportunity. You must create them, and when you cannot create them, you must take them. Machiavelli warned that fortune controls half of human affairs, but the other half is yours. Your preparation, your discipline, your ruthlessness, these are the weapons that bend fate in your direction. The storm will always come. But whether you are destroyed by it or rise from it depends only on you. So take your fate by the throat, force it into submission, do not wait for chances, engineer them. Say it in the comments, I own my fate, because once you say it, you must live it. 5. The untouchable man. This is the final stage, the point of no return. The man who has rebuilt himself completely is not simply stronger, he is untouchable. Untouchable means no insult breaks you, no betrayal shakes you, no loss destroys you, because you are not ruled by outside forces. You rule yourself, and the man who rules himself cannot be ruled by anyone. Untouchable means you walk into a room and no one knows how to read you. Your silence weighs more than their shouting. Your presence speaks louder than their words. Your eyes say, I am here and I cannot be moved. Untouchable means even if you lose everything, money, status, people, you remain whole. because your power is internal, because your strength is not borrowed, it is built, because everything that mattered was forged inside you, where no one can touch it. This is what makes you dangerous. This is what makes you free. This is what makes you unbreakable. 6. The final oath. Now you must declare it. Not just think it, not just feel it. Declare it. Go to the comments and write, "I am untouchable." Say it like you own it. Say it like prophecy. Say it so the weak who scroll by this video feel it echo in their chest. Because this is not just a phrase, this is your oath. The oath that you will never again return to weakness. The oath that you will never again let emotions control you. The oath that you will never again live like prey. From this day forward, you are untouchable. 7. Closing command. If this resonated with you, if you felt the fire in these words, if you know you are ready to kill the weak man and rebuild the fortress inside you, then commit fully. Like this video to mark your transformation. Subscribe to this channel, Mental Fort, to continue sharpening your mind and building your power. And turn on notifications, because every lesson, every weapon I drop here will forge you deeper into the man you must become. Do not hesitate, do not delay, decide, act, and rebuild yourself every single day. Until the world no longer sees you as another man, but as a force of cold, unstoppable power.